What is going on, guys? Welcome to another amazing tutorial, and in this lesson I want to start talking to you guys about the canvas in HTML5. Now what the canvas is it's a very powerful feature that basically allows us to draw graphics on our web page, and I'm not just talking about JPEG or PNG images that we can embed on there. I'm talking about a drawing program just like you would draw graphics in Photoshop. We can actually use that same technology but in our web pages now to make dynamic, moving, changing graphics, and it's going to be awesome. So the first thing I want to mention is this. In order to use the canvas feature, you actually need a JavaScript file. The JavaScript is basically going to be the brains behind drawing everything. The HTML is pretty much just going to be the display, what you look at. So let's go ahead and link to our JavaScript file now, and I'm going to do that. Source equal bucky.js, and I recommend you name yours bucky.js too. Why? Because it's my name and it's awesome. So go ahead and link to it right there, and now let's actually go ahead and make the canvas itself. So I'm actually going to put this in a section, and I'll just give it an ID of main. And this is just because I like organizing everything very nicely. And inside our section is the canvas itself. So in order to make a canvas on your HTML file, what you need to do is first make the canvas open and closing tags. And of course, the tag name is canvas, if you couldn't have guessed. And the opening canvas tag takes a couple attributes that are actually necessary. The first thing we need to do is we need to give it an ID. So let me go ahead and just give this an ID of canvas. Now, why do we need to give an ID? Well, whenever we are referencing this canvas in JavaScript, say we have 5 different canvases on our web page. Well, we want to say that we want to work with this canvas. So in order to say, all right, this is the canvas we want to work with, we reference it through ID, actually through the JavaScript method getElementById. I don't know if you guys remember that. You'll see later on. And now after this, it takes 2 more necessary attributes, width, and you guys can probably guess height. So this is basically how wide and how tall of an area do you want to be able to draw graphics on. So depending on your website, depending on what you're developing for, this may be a little bit different. But for me, for this tutorial, I'm just going to make mine 600 by 400. And what this is it's basically like a blank piece of paper on your website. And in this area is the only area that you're going to be able to draw on. So if you didn't have this at all, like this, you wouldn't just be able to draw graphics right here. You actually need a canvas and set the width and height of it before you can draw. So before we start typing and drawing, a whole bunch of shapes and gradients and, colors on this canvas, we need to do something for the people that don't have Google Chrome yet. For, your grandma who just got the internet like 10 years ago and hasn't upgraded their browser, let me go ahead and write like, hopefully you don't see this. If you do, get Google Chrome. So why would I write an awful mean message like that? Well, as you guys probably could have guessed, what the canvas does is, like I said, it's basically a blank piece of paper that shows up on your website that you can draw graphics on. Now, for those people who have not upgraded their browser in like the last 3 years and are working with like, old Internet Explorer 6, what they do is that browser doesn't have the capability to see the canvas yet. It doesn't even know about it. So whenever someone with an old browser tries to see a web page with a canvas on it and they can't because their browser just isn't capable, they're going to get this message instead. So if we go ahead and save this and run and launch in Chrome, I have updated browser that is capable of all the HTML5 features. So I don't see that error message at all. I just see this canvas that's ready to be drawn on. However, like I said, not everyone can see this. If they don't, then you're going to get this error message. So if you're watching this tutorial and you're like, I wonder if my browser can see this or not, just go ahead and throw this in and hopefully you don't see this. So now, before we start drawing crap, I want to mention one last thing. You know how this has a width of 600 and 400? Well, let me go ahead and mention this. What the canvas is it's basically a bunch of coordinates or a grid system. Now in this canvas, 0, 0 is in the top left. So don't think of this like in math class where you're making quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0, 0 was in the middle. Not this case. 0, 0 is in the top left. So if I say, okay, we're going to start drawing at the coordinate 100, 100, it would mean 100 across and 100 pixels down. So 100, 100 would be right around here. And that's where we tell the canvas where we want to start making those shapes. So that is all I'm going to cover for this tutorial. Again, make sure your HTML file is set up. And in the next tutorial, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be hopping over to this JavaScript file and actually showing you guys how to make different kind of shapes, how to make different sizes, and a whole bunch of awesome stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys then.